Hello, and welcome to Vlogmas 2021 for December 26th, day 26. I'm Michael Powell, and I've made it this far. Anyway, today I was thinking about all the different states I've lived in and the areas of the world that I've lived in, and realized that everywhere I lived had its own particular problems. When we lived in the north, we dealt with snow, blizzards, ice storms. My father was in the service, and we were stationed in Oklahoma for a couple of years, and we dealt with tornadoes. And here in Florida, we've had to deal with hurricanes. Uh, but there's good things about living in Florida too. The weather, obviously, um, for the most part, is very nice. And the summer gets a little bit hot, but that's why they make air conditioning. Any rate, one of the things I enjoy about our community is the wildlife. Sometimes I feel like I live in a zoo, and we have all kinds of wildlife to deal with. Uh, Certainly, you've seen my previous video, I think, where I showed you the alligator. So it's no particular secret that we deal with alligators. They do come in all sizes. Uh, we have a problem with some of the people that live on the lakes in that the alligators come up into their backyards to sun. That's how an alligator digests its food, by the way, is in the sun. And we've even had several instances where people were walking their small dogs and the alligator would come out of the water and grab the dog. At that point, of course, they call the trappers and they take the alligators away. But if you leave them alone for the most part, they'll leave you alone. We have all kinds of birds. I've never seen so many different kinds of birds. Um, Big ones, small ones, birds that I'd never seen in my entire life. Uh, it's just it's kind of neat because they don't seem really to be afraid of humans, and they just go about doing their thing. Uh, there's I'm not sure what some of these are called, but any rate, there's birds. Let's see what's coming up. That I know is an emu, and they have a really long beak for digging. Now, I don't know if that duck's trying to tell me he doesn't want his picture taken or whether he's just fishing. And that one also. So, moving on. That's enough of the ducks. Maybe there we go. Those two in the far top corner or top part of the video are called Sandhill Cranes. And they're all over the community. They even walk up and down our sidewalks and our streets. They're not very aggressive unless you tend to scare them. Um, I have actually walked right past them and they don't bother you. Uh, but mess with their little babies and they can get very aggressive. An interesting fact about them is their legs. Their knees are backwards from what, say, humans are, in that they are able to lay down very easily and sleep or rest or whatever. Any rate, there's some more little blackbirds. Now, snakes, yes, we have snakes. I am not particularly fond of snakes. We have several different varieties within our community. That one is called a black racer. Normally will not bother you. They're good at catching rodents and whatnot. But we also have rattlesnakes, which I have not seen since I've lived here. And they have something they call a pygmy rattler, which is about the size of a fairly decent sized worm. And because our grass is so thick here, it's hard to see them. My understanding is that they won't particularly cause death to a human, but small animals and maybe small dogs could end up getting bit by one and either getting extremely sick or dying. And of course, we have the water moccasins, or cottonmouths as they call them here. And they are very venomous. And you steer clear of those guys because they tend to be a bit on the aggressive side. And that's my critters. That's the critters I live with. That's the things I deal with living in Florida. I do stand clear of the snakes, even if they're not aggressive. Never have been particularly fond of snakes. And what can I say? So living in Florida has its upsides and its challenges. And for today, that's what it's like to live here. Critters of Florida, they can be good. What's coming up next?